There's no need to get too rough here.
Your Majesty.
Warrior Bailey, I am quite amazed at your skills as a fighter.
Your praise is greatly appreciated, Your Majesty. Warrior Bailey here is a favorite of our fourth prince in Northern Yan. He also wishes to convey his high regards for His Majesty. When the time comes, we would welcome her ladyship
Now,
in marriage.
don't get too presumptuous.
I agree. To speak in such a way before a match that will win her ladyship's hand sounds highly suspicious as well. So are you an envoy for Northern Yan? Or are you working for the fourth prince alone?
Niwang, what was official Sucha talking about?
Master Su was just giving some remarks about the sparring match. That's all, Your Majesty.
Does our official not only possess unparalleled knowledge in literature, but in martial arts as well?
Your Majesty. He only remarked that Warrior Bailey is known to be a highly skilled fighter, but his moves are too rigid that even a few children can defeat him because of that flaw.
So he thinks a few children can bring down our warrior. Then explain how that is so, since you know so much.
It wasn't meant as an offense. I'm sure that Warrior Bailey went through so much to hone his skills to such a degree. Why would I want to ruin his bright future? I wish you wouldn't take that remark too seriously.
That boastful remark you made in front of His Majesty is something we can't simply ignore. Now, since action speaks louder than words, why don't you gather a few children to spar against him? I'm sure Warrior Bailey is still feeling weary from his bout, but we must find out if there's any truth to your boastful airs.
I hope you don't mean that, sir. And even if I do find some children, I'd still have to train them for a few days. I beg you, sir. Just forget about what I've said. You're both guests of the court. It would be tragic if this ruins our camaraderie.
Look here. You may find his words acceptable, but I find it more an insult.
Very well. If you need time to train those children, we'll give you a few days to do it. His Majesty will set the day, and we'll be here for the bout.
Unfortunately, I'm not a local here, and I'm not familiar with most parts of the capital. I wouldn't know where to find those children.
That's simple. There are many martial arts schools at the countryside. You can find your trainees there.
Wait. Those children are trained and quite skilled. Warrior Bailey could find himself at a disadvantage.
My lady's very considerate. To have him attacked by trained school children would really not be fair.
If it's the untrained children you need, the palace has them. Aren't there many children residing at the prisoners' quarters?
Yes, the children from the prisoners' quarters. They're a better choice than those of the local citizens. Your Majesty, will you approve of it?
What do you think, Commander Mang?
Your Majesty, Su Che is right. It is a better choice. If Warrior Bailey wins, it's no great loss. And if he loses, they lose their confidence. Either way, it will not harm your image. Your Majesty, I suggest you allow it. Of course, the choice is yours.
Fine, all right. Gao-chan, pick a few children at the prisoners' quarters.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the children's build will play a vital role here. Let me pick them.
Go on.
Right there. Kneel.
Raise your heads. Higher. Official Su, will these 3 boys be good enough for you?
Because our good commander selected them himself, I'm sure they'll do perfectly. Although I'm afraid I'll have to bring those 3 boys with me at home so I can train them, if your majesty allows it.
All right. And if these children win the bout, you'll get a huge reward.
Your majesty's very generous, but these children are still prisoners of the palace. I doubt that any money or jewelry would be of any use to them.
Official Su, you misheard me. I don't intend to reward them. It is you I'll be rewarding.
Oh. I don't deserve it, your majesty. It's the children who'll be facing the match, so I hope that you would grant them the grace they deserve.
Your Majesty, isn't it too early to discuss about rewards? Too presumptuous, as you've said.
I agree with you. We'll find out the results after 5 days.
Brother Su, are you feeling confident about this? I've just tried out these boys, and not one of them knows a thing about martial arts.
Ever heard of the Lingshu sword formation?
Are you talking about the Lingshu illusion? That mysterious sword formation? Of course I've heard about it, but that move has long since disappeared.
What's the matter? Don't you have any faith in me?
Of course I do, my friend. After all, you're a scholar. But these boys have no foundation, and what if they're slow learners?
Rest easy. Since he said he can do it, he would know what to do when he trains them. I'd like to see how these boys will put Bai Li Chi down. Then we'll see if he'd have the nerve to spar with the sister Ni Wang.
Commander,
Your
you
Majesty.
happen to be the best warrior I have. Where martial arts is concerned, you're the only one I can trust. Do you think that Sucho came up with that remark just to taunt the Yan representatives? Or because he speaks the truth?
Your Majesty, if you're pertaining to Bai Li Chi's rigid moves, then he's correct. I wondered about that too. But then I also realized that one can learn the right forms and moves from manuscripts. Even a non-martial artist would be familiar with them. Let's see what he'll come up with in 5 days. Even if we lose, the situation can't get worse than it already is.
Greetings, Concert Wei.
Concubine Jing.
What's the matter? Your eyes are red from crying.
Nothing new about that.
Is it the Empress again?
Her Majesty said that the scripture I copied was poorly done. Scolding me was not even good enough for her. Now she wants me to go to the deceased Grand Empress's palace to light 30 candles as punishment for what I did.
The Grand Empress has passed on for years, so her palace must be sealed and very dark inside. You'd be all alone in there. I can come with you if you want.
Nanny Wu?
Maiden Chen.
Your arm must feel very tired. Come, I'll show you the way back. To return to where your servants are, just pass through the side door at the south side. It's a closer way to get there.
The maids have enjoyed enough free time. With all the help you've given, I feel I must have worn you out.
You see, Concert Way, I was once a physician, so I'm quite used to helping people.
So where's that thing that her ladyship wanted you to get? Have you found it?
Yes, I found it. It's just right here. In case you didn't know, I'm the only one in the entire palace who possesses an entire bottle of it.
Are you sure that it's the same thing that the late Grand Empress used in Royal Princess Liang in the past?
This is known as Qingshirao. When you
Did
use
she
it on
say
someone,
Qingshirao?
half a cup of this should be enough.
Wait,
I have to hear this.
And I'll arrange to have you return to your family. And Nanny, no one must know about this, you hear? Not with our ladyship involved.
I understand. No one will know of this.
Concubine Ching, I've heard that Qingshirao is a strong kind of wine. Some even say it's an aphrodisiac. A cup of it would cause a woman to feel confused and her limbs to get weak. Some say it was used by the late Grand Empress. I don't know why that wine still even exists in the palace. And whoever plans to use it must be up to no good. Tell me, what are we to do about this now?
We're in the palace, where self-preservation is a must, so just pretend you didn't hear them. Come.
Failure. Make them move as fast as you when you're doing it. Only then can I be assured of triumph.
Do it faster!
Excellent moves.
My lady.
You came by, my lady.
Master Su. You're training these lads so they can deal with Bai Li Chi, which has to do with my affairs. So I came by to observe their progress.
So far, I'm afraid that we still haven't made any real progress. Perhaps it might even earn your ridicule.
Thank you for guiding me here. I appreciate it.
It's an honor, my lady. Oh, well, if there's nothing else, I'd better get back to work.
If you don't mind my request, would you please have these lads repeat that formation they were just doing? The formation is quite intriguing. Unfortunately, it lacks aggression. Bai Li Chi's skills are based on strength. Overpowering him will not be that simple.
We still have a few more days to practice. This can't be rushed.
A few more days will not make any difference. Unless you still have something up your sleeve. I'm trapped in this predicament, and there's nothing I can do. That's why I beg you, do something.
Don't worry, my lady. I'll do my utmost best to keep you safe.
I don't know why, but I do believe you.
Xiaoxin, bring it to her.
My lady, you should get some rest. It's already late. Do you really have to finish sewing that herbal pouch right now? What if you just finished it later?
The sooner I get this done, the sooner I can give it to the Grand Empress.
Oh.
You don't have to stay up with me. Go and get some sleep.
Yes, my lady.
I like the fragrance of this one.
May I smell it?
You like it?
Both the scent and embroidery are good. Who made them?
Concubine Jing, probably.
Concubine Jing? Why, I haven't even seen that sweet dear in such a long while.
That's because she's of lower rank, so she's only allowed to stay outside. Unless, of course, you summon for her. Not everyone is blessed to see her, Grand Empress.
So Concubine Jing's outside? Call her. Summon her in here.
Very well.
It's good. Don't you love it?
My respects to our beloved Grand Empress. May you live a long life and enjoy good health.
All right. Please rise, my dear.
Grandmother loves the herbal pouch you made. I believe it's even better than what the Imperial household makes.
Yes.
I have no special skills. I can only do my best in making these simple items to present to the Grand Empress and to the ladies of each palace. It is my way of expressing my regards to you all. Here, Your Royal Highness. Have this. I hope you like it. You made one for me? There's so much more I'd like to give you, if I can have that chance. Grandmother? Grandmother!
Grandmother.
Oh. Ah. Come here, Concubine Jing. I'm aware of how skillful your hands are, my dear girl. And how have you been doing here at the palace?
I'm doing well, Grand Empress. You don't need to worry. I'm just fine.
Oh. Oh dear. Concert Chen has grown weak since she gave birth. You're a physician, aren't you? Remember, dear, it was the Lins who brought you to the palace, so you should start looking after her. All right?
Grandmother, you must feel tired. Concert Shen doesn't exist anymore. Lin Yayao is a rebel's mother, who's already dead.
What? She's already dead? What about Jingyu, my obedient great-grandson? Where is he now? Why wasn't he summoned here? Hurry, call for him. Have him summoned here.
Please.
Are you all right?
Please calm down.
Grand Empress, how are you feeling? Tell me how you feel.
Where's my great-grandson?
My lady, Royal Princess Liang is here.
Your Highness, how may I help you? I've no wish to see the Imperial physician about my back. It's been itching lately. My treatments at home weren't able to help. Then I happened to pass by here. And thought that maybe you can help me. Oh, of course, Your Highness. Would you all please give us some privacy?
Yes, my lady.
You've taken great lengths to have me come here. You've been very cautious since when we were at grandmother's palace. Why must you behave this way? I'm of low rank, Your Highness, and we rarely have a chance to really talk. I hope I'm not imposing. I know how well reserved you are, so you must have your reasons. Tell me.
I do have one reason, Your Highness.
It concerns a particular wine. A strong one. The one a few people known as Qingxirao. Your Highness, I think you are aware that drinking that terrible brew can cause such misery to any hapless maiden who is unaware of its effects.
Liang, just do what I tell you. Here, drink this cup of wine.
Everyone would say that the Marquis of Ning and your Royal Highness are a match made in heaven. But none of them really knows of the suffering you had to go through. How you had to give yourself against your will. That happened a long time ago. More than 2 decades. Why must you bring that up? My purpose was not to upset you, Your Highness. I just found out about it. And recently, I also discovered that someone from the court was able to get hold of that wicked wine Qingxirao. And again, it will be used on someone. Used on someone? On who? Who has hold of the wine? Well, I don't know who has it. I wasn't able to find out. Although I know who the victim will be. Your Highness, think about it. Who's the center of the entire event we have here? Oh no. Nihuang's in danger. The House of Mu has 100,000 loyal soldiers, the great cavalry of Yunnan. Why else would they all want to marry off her ladyship, if not to take over Yunnan? And those people from the imperial harem are truly devious. Why, that old woman. She stored that wine and sold it to the highest bidder. I want to help the princess. But how? I don't have the position for it. You're the only one who can save her from that plight. I beg you, Your Highness, help her.
You've improved greatly, and this is just your 2nd day. Well done. Of course, we should thank Fei Liu.
Master Su, His Highness Prince Jing is here.
Go and play with him.
Come!
I see that your Highness is still feeling worried, and had to personally come and check on Ting Sheng.
I'm sure you've always expected I would come. I heard about your nasty remark at the palace a few days ago, and I also heard many other things about you.
Oh? And what has your Highness heard about?
I've been in the barracks for too long, far away from court affairs, and I've been misinformed. I wasn't even aware that Prince John and Prince Yu are your friends now. I do apologize.
The Crown Prince and Prince Yu are not my friends. They merely wish to recruit me as their advisor.
Her ladyship once said, Sir Mei has a bright future ahead of him, And now here you are, content with being an advisor.
What's wrong about being an advisor? I would have the people depending on my word. I can accomplish great feats. I may even be remembered for them and cherished someday.
So have you chosen to advise the Crown Prince or Prince Hugh, sir?
I've chosen Your Highness. Just you, Prince Jing.
You chose me. So you've chosen me. Then you're surely lacking in foresight and judgment. Mother's a second-class concubine in the imperial harem, with no prominent kins. I'm 31, yet I'm still not a first-rank prince. I'm just a military officer who mostly deals with boors. I have no connections in any bureau or any court ministries. What can you achieve with me?
I know Your Highness is in a weak position, but you're still the prince I choose to serve.
We did not expect Your Royal Highness. Do forgive us. His Highness and Her Ladyship have gone to the mansion outside the city this morning and will return tomorrow. Is there anything we can do to assist you, Your Royal Highness?
They'll return tomorrow?
Yes, Your Highness.
You mustn't worry then. I was just passing by.
Everyone in court knows that the eligible choices to succeed the throne someday are the 7-pearl first-class prince and the crown prince. Both of them are better choices.
Then my accomplishments would be far less exciting if I decided to choose either of them. If I'm able to help a prince, the least one everyone expected to suddenly rise to the throne, wouldn't that prove just how accomplished I am?
Those with accomplished minds can harbor the strangest ideas.
Your Highness, let's be honest here. Do you really want to see what would happen to our lands if either of them wins the throne?
Since you've come to the capital to rile things up, you must have come prepared. I'm quite certain that you've already studied my background.
Of course. An advisor doesn't blindly choose the master he serves.
Ascending the throne has been an inconceivable dream I never had. But if it is the best way to stop the Crown Prince and Prince Hugh, then I'd be willing to take any step.
Your Highness, I need you to accept me as your advisor. To prove my honesty, I helped gain Tingsheng's freedom as a gift.
So you had Tingsheng liberated for me?
Yes.
Since you've already known my full background, then you should know I hate advisors. You people just love to scheme all the time. Even if you do help me gain the throne someday, don't assume that you'll be highly favored. Would you consent to that?
We're not there yet. I'll still have many opportunities to win your Highness's trust. But my faith in you lies in your character, which is a far cry from your brothers.
You and I have only met. What do you even know about my character?
Just consider yourself as my best bet. Among the surviving princes around, the 3rd prince is physically disabled, the 6th prince unambitious, and the 9th prince is far too young. As I've said, your Highness's situation may be poor, but you're still the best choice among them.
Are you saying that after the royal princess left the palace, she took a deliberate detour to Prince Mu's manor.
Yes, but then His Highness and Her Ladyship were not there at that time, so Her Royal Highness did not enter the house.
You may leave.
Yes, Your Highness. Are you certain that Ting Shong is the last-born son of Prince Chi?
Every man at Prince Chi's manor perished that year. Every woman thrown into the prisoner's quarters. Ting Shung's age matches that time, and Prince Jing cares for the lad. That's why I'm quite certain about it.
As far as I can recall, all of the female prisoners, especially those with status, were all persecuted. They all perished within a year. That poor boy, it's hard to imagine how he managed to survive.
I can't even begin to guess what that young boy had to endure. Still, the Crown Princess was a smart, valiant woman. She would have risked her life back then, if that's what it took to save the last bloodline of brother Jingyu.
And the boy resembles him as well. That's poetic justice. Anyway, let's change the subject. Now, I'm going to be honest here. Remember when you had someone get in touch with me 5 years ago? I could hardly believe my ears then. Look, Shu. I know that if I asked, you still wouldn't tell me what happened to you. But I also know that if you hadn't gone through so much suffering, your appearance will not be the way it is now.
Since I've managed to survive, I will not put my life to waste.
Sister, I've done my evening studies. Do you have any more duties for me?
No, you're done. Just go wash up, then go to bed.
Sister, I feel nervous about the whole thing. Can Sucha really train 3 lads to defeat Bai Li Chi? But how? How will they do that? You saw them in practice, right? How is their sword formation?
Would it matter how they were? How can 3 young lads defeat Bai Li Chi? I have no idea where he gets his confidence.
That won't do! If he loses the bout, then you'll have to spar with that ape. I'll have a word with him.
Xing! Stop being so reckless.
But
don't worry. If I do end up sparring with him, I might win, who knows?
You intend to support Prince Jing? He has no liking for politics and power, and despises the fight for the throne. The worst part is, he's very stubborn and has a bad temper. Competing for the throne is a risky thing. With his kind of temper, how would he dodge the ruthlessness and spite of Prince Yu or the Crown Prince?
Prince Jing will have me. I'll deal with them. Every nasty, bloody threats they can hurl at us. If they want to get cold-blooded about it, I can play the same game too. I can be as evil as they are and cause harm on the innocent people they love. If Prince Jing cannot bear the guilt of hurting his own brothers, then I will bear it for him.
Your Royal Highness, His Excellency has just entered to study.
And Shebi?
He went to attend Prince Yu's banquet.
If Jingrui and Shebi come to pay their respects, tell them I'm already asleep.
Yes, Your Highness.
Who is it?
Sorry, Master Su, if I interrupted your rest, but there's something I really have to tell you.
What you've just said is truly stunning, Your Royal Highness. Although there's something I don't understand. With your respectable status, you must have other ways to prevent this. So why have you asked for my help?
You think I have other ways? How can I stop it? I don't have any proof. I can't just accuse anyone, or even tell the Emperor about it. I cannot bear to implicate my husband and my son. If I had the palace prevent it, they'll just find someone else to use it on. So my title as Royal Princess is nothing but a respectable joke.
I see. How can I help, Your Royal Highness?
Your 5-day agreement with Northern Yan is due tomorrow. You should be meeting her ladyship at the palace. That's why you have to warn her to be very careful. Especially when she's around the ladies of the Imperial Harem. Tell her not to drink any wine they offer. We have to keep her safe.
Your Excellency.
Sister Cixi, what must we do? Her Royal Highness said that His Excellency must not know she's gone out.
But His Excellency has never left his study this early.
You girls are so inexperienced.
Nanny, she...
Why must you panic over such a simple matter? Never mind. I'll deal with His Excellency.
Thank you, Nanny.
Is Her Royal Highness asleep?
Oh, you can't come in, Your Excellency.
And why can't I?
I'm sorry, Your Excellency, but Her Royal Highness is in a foul mood tonight, and she really has no wish to see anyone.
Not even me.
Forgive me for sounding insolent, but Your Excellency is the last person that Her Royal Highness wishes to see.
How dare you? Are you trying me?
Oh no, Your Excellency. It's that Her Royal Highness was at her late mother's palace earlier today. And while she was walking around the chambers of the late Grand Empress, she suddenly remembered the past and grew quite upset. Your Excellency, for sure you know what I mean.
Rest assured, Your Royal Highness, I will make it my responsibility to relay your message to Her Ladyship right away.
I'll leave that all to you then. Good evening.
She must already be asleep by now. Just attend to her needs.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Just who in the world would plot something as despicable as that?
If it's not the Empress, it's Noble Consort Yu. We'll find out. Who invites her ladyship tomorrow?